Imagine being 24 years old, and every morning you wake up already buried under nearly $100,000 in debt. Every day that number grows. No matter how hard you grind through 60-hour work weeks, no escape, no relief, no miracle coming. And the worst part? You look around and see everyone else. They're buying homes, going on vacations, getting engaged. And you're just trying to breathe under a mountain of bills. In today's video, I'm going to tell you a real story about a young American woman who faced this financial nightmare head-on. And here's the twist. She didn't find her way out through government programs, through banks, or through some magical debt-erasing trick. She found it somewhere else, in a 2,000-year-old philosophy. So if you've ever felt crushed by debt, trapped by anxiety, or wondered if there's any way to not completely fall apart, stick around, because this story, it just might be exactly what you need to hear today. Sophia Reynolds had done everything by the book. Born and raised in Des Moines, Iowa, to a working-class family, she was the first in her family to go to college. Her parents, who'd spent their lives in warehouses and diners, believed college was the golden ticket, the only way their daughter could escape the grind they'd endured. So they encouraged her to take out the loans. Big loans. By the time Sophia enrolled in a private university in Chicago to study business administration, her debt had already crossed $98,000. But nobody seemed alarmed. Her counselors told her, "It's an investment in your future." And for a while, Sophia believed them. She studied hard. She got good grades. She imagined walking across that graduation stage would mark the beginning of a life with a good job, a nice apartment, and maybe even a little downtown condo before she turned 30. The American dream, right? But in 2020, reality came crashing down. The pandemic hit. Businesses froze hiring. Internships vanished overnight. Sophia graduated straight into an economy that didn't want her, and the bills started rolling in. 6 months after graduation, Sophia got her first notice from the loan servicer. Payment due, $1,187 this month. Interest, compounding daily. Grace period, over. At first, she thought it was a mistake, $1,000 every month. But it was real, and the reality was even crueler. She couldn't find a job in her field. She sent out 200 resumes. She got 3 interviews, 0 offers. So she took whatever work she could find. Mornings at a Starbucks drive-thru, afternoons delivering groceries for Instacart, evenings tutoring middle school kids online. On a good week, she scraped together $600. On a bad week, barely $350. Sophia started to fall behind. She skipped payments, penalties stacked. Interest grew like black mold in the corners of her mind. The debt wasn't shrinking, it was growing, even as she bled herself dry, working 65 hours a week. And every time she opened Instagram, she saw former classmates vacationing in Cancun, buying engagement rings, posing with keys to their first home. Meanwhile, Sophia sat on the floor of her tiny studio apartment, staring at final notice letters and wondering, did I just destroy my future before it even began? By July, things got worse. Sophia received a certified letter. Her loan servicer would begin garnishing her wages if she didn't make payments soon. That meant they could legally take money straight from her paycheck. No negotiation, no mercy. That night, Sophia had her first panic attack. She couldn't breathe. Her chest tightened. She thought she was having a heart attack at 24. Alone in her apartment, surrounded by crumpled bills and pizza boxes from missed meals, she muttered, "I did everything right. I played by the rules. Why am I being punished?" And for the first time, she thought about quitting. Quitting everything. In a random, sleepless scroll through YouTube, Sophia stumbled on a video titled, "How Marcus Aurelius Survived a Plague and Kept His Sanity." She clicked. She had nothing left to lose. The speaker read a line from the Roman Emperor's journal, "Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Sophia paused the video. She replayed that line again and again. And then she wrote it down on the back of an old Starbucks receipt. I have power over my mind, not outside events. Something shifted. For the first time in months, she felt a flicker of control. The next day, Sophia sat down, not to apply for more job, but to make a war plan. She looked at her spending, brutally. No more lattes from work, no more Netflix, no more Uber rides when she could walk 40 minutes. She found 3 roommates on Craigslist and moved into a cramped 4-bedroom, slashing her rent by half. She called her loan servicer, and though they rejected her first 2 requests, on the 3rd call, she secured a slightly lower interest rate through an income-driven plan. Then she registered for free coding boot camps online. She had 0 background in tech, but Sophia made a deal with herself. 2 hours of coding practice every night, no excuses. Even if it meant sleeping 5 hours. Even if her body begged her to quit. This wasn't about overnight success. This was about reclaiming her sense of agency. She wasn't waiting for Biden to cancel student debt. She wasn't praying for a fairy godmother. She was done being the victim. 1 year after that breakdown night, Sophia's world looked different. She'd paid down $15,200 of her debt. She landed a junior web developer job at a mid-sized company, starting at $58,000 per year. She stuck to her minimalist lifestyle. No flashy spending, no vacations, just progress. Did she still have debt? Yes, $83,000 still loomed. But her spirit, unbreakable. She no longer measured success by how much debt she had left. She measured it by her daily discipline, by her ability to wake up and choose action over despair. Today, over 45 million Americans owe a combined $1.7 trillion in student loans. The debate rages on. Will the government cancel debt? Will interest rates spike again? But Sophia no longer waits for Washington. Stoicism taught her what politics can't promise. You don't control the economy, you don't control your loan officer, but you control your spending habits. You control your daily discipline. You control whether you spiral in anger or stand up and fight. Sophia's victory wasn't in wiping out her debt overnight. Her victory was in reclaiming her mind from hopelessness. 6 years later, Sophia made her final loan payment. There were no fireworks, no parties, just a woman sitting at her kitchen table, sipping chamomile tea, feeling an unfamiliar lightness. She didn't post on Instagram. She didn't shout to the world. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Freedom isn't about having no burdens. Freedom is knowing no burden can break you." Looking back, Sophia didn't hate the struggle. She honored it. Because every sleepless night, every dollar sacrificed, every coding lesson at midnight, they had forged her. Not just into someone debt-free, but into someone untouchable by circumstance. If you're listening right now, drowning in debt, if the bills make your chest tighten and your future feel doomed, remember, you are not powerless. You are not a victim. You are a fighter. And fighters don't wait for rescue. They pause, breathe deep, and ask, what small thing can I control today? That tiny answer, cutting $5 from spending, applying for one more job, learning one new skill, is your rope. Grab it, climb, inch by inch. And trust, freedom isn't somewhere far away. It starts inside you, the moment you refuse to let circumstances dictate your spirit. If this story sparks something in you, a quiet fire, a moment of stillness, or the courage to take one step closer to who you really are, then you're in the right place. We're building a space for thinkers, dreamers, and doers, for those who seek depth in a world full of noise. If that sounds like you, hit the like button, drop a comment to share your thoughts or your own story. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe, because this is just the beginning. There's so much more to come. See you in the next one.